揽投资，国内专业的互联网理财平台，收益超银行活期数倍，已为众多用户带来丰厚收益。揽投资，理财新选择。
在前不久召开的财经纽约峰会上，美国时代金融财团董事局主席格林伯格做客财新时间，接受了财经传媒总编辑胡舒立和财经智库首席经济学家何帆的联合访问。已经年纪90旬高龄的格林伯格是美国商界的一个传奇人物。他曾经呢是一名军人，在2战的时候参与过诺曼底的登陆作战和朝鲜战争，获得过铜星勋章。上世纪50、60年代的时候，他投身保险业，加入 AIG， 也就是美国国际集团。凭借着在战场上锻炼的钢铁般的坚韧意志和卓越的领导能力，他很快便受到财团高层的赏识，青云直上。
1967年，时年42岁的格林伯格接替公司创始人斯塔尔，成为首席执行官。在随后执掌公司的37年里，他带领 AIG 从一家不为人知的小公司，逐步发展成为遍及130个国家和地区，拥有9万余名员工，资产高达1000亿美元的世界第3大跨国金融保险集团。尽管在2005年，他因 AIG 集团的财务丑闻被迫离开了他一手缔造的商业帝国，但这并不影响他在几十年间里为自己在金融保险行业确立的教父地位。在离开 AIG 之后，格林伯格又重组了时代金融财团，出任董事局主席，继续坚守他一生钟爱的保险事业。
What's your early experience was in the army? So how did it influence you or help you for your future career? You think?
Oh, that's a long and personal question. I enlisted in the Army when I was 17 years old. I lied my age. I was bored in high school. And I served in Europe from Normandy through linking up with the Russians in Linz, Austria. When I was 19, I was commissioned in the field commission. I came back out of the Army, had to finish high school, which was a very difficult year and a half. Let me tell you, it was after being in a war and going back to high school. I don't envy anybody having to do that, but I did. I went on to college and law school. When I finished law school, almost on a day, the Korean War broke out, and I had stayed in the reserves because I needed the money when I was going to school. And I was recalled about 2 months after the Korean War broke out. I was recalled. They needed field officers. I found myself on an airplane going to Korea. I spent about 14 months in the coldest winter I've ever spent in my life. I commanded a company. I was a captain when I came back. But you learn something about leadership. I learned that you never ask anybody, I wouldn't, to do what you wouldn't do. Not everybody feels that way about it. I run my life that way and have since the Army. I don't ask any of my employees to do anything that I wouldn't do. I work long hours. I have a briefcase almost every night. I don't finish till about 11 o'clock. That's been my life since I went to work for Star and ran AIG. But that's me. I mean, I couldn't be doing anything different no matter where I work. You either give it your soul and complete attention, or you shouldn't do it.
But why, after such a dramatic experience, you chose to be insurance industry? Because of its insurance?
Well, because it's not just insurance, it's investments, it's understanding other countries. We did business in 137 countries. We opened markets around the world that never were opened before. You have to understand the culture of a country. You learn a great deal, and you impart a great deal to the countries in which you operate in. If you don't give something back to the country in which you're doing business, you will never succeed. Long term, you have to give back, not just take out.
Do you see more opportunities in China in insurance industry or in investment area? Which side do you think there's more chance?
The investment area is very important to us. When I entered AIG into China, I first went to China in 1975. We didn't get a license till 1992. Okay? China didn't want to open its market to them. But I knew that ultimately China would become a bigger part of the world community. And it would have to open its market. And I was right, and we got a license. And we brought to China ideas in the insurance field that didn't exist before. And we brought methods of production that didn't exist before. The agency system, for example, which was a traditional way of selling personal insurance, automobile insurance, and homeowner insurance, didn't exist in China. They used to have the employees of an insurance company solicit. When we went into China and introduced the agency system, the insurance industry then in China adopted that process and became very competitive. But anyway, I leave AIG, and the star companies, which was warehouse, I brought out of the warehouse, and we're growing it quite well. And I happened to be in China and met then with the mayor of Shanghai. And he said, look, we have an insurance company in Shanghai that's been in existence for 15 years and never made a profit. So why don't you buy 20% and you run the company, your people? Well, I was a little naive in thinking that it still would be an SOE and you didn't have the freedom to do the things that you'd like to do. And we tried, and we worked at it for a year and a half. I went back and said, look, either you sell me control or you buy it back. And we got control, and we're making a lot of changes. The automobile insurance business in China is the largest part of the insurance industry, the non-life side. The expense ratio in China for most of the industry is about in the mid-40s. Okay? Mid-40s. The expense ratio that I had in AIG was 21%. The expense ratio of the star companies is 21%. We couldn't make money at 44%, whatever, an automobile business in China. So we're now out of the automobile business in China. We're doing what we think could be best for China. In the commercial business, many Chinese companies are investing overseas. We know the overseas markets. That's what we did in AIG. And so we're doing that. We're trying to help Chinese companies that are investing around the world. We'll write the insurance for them and help them where it's necessary. And so we're giving something back to China in that regard. We bring technology and knowledge. We look for new opportunities all the time. And we'll continue to do that. And I'll continue to work on U.S.-China relations, because I think it is the most important relationship in the world today.